Hey there everybody, it's Russ from Pathless Pelled, and in this series of videos I'm going to show you how I pack my gear on the bike in different ways. This is a viewer request from Kim, who is a channel supporter, so thank you Kim, and I hope this will start answering some of your questions. So for this video I'm going to focus on this front-loading hybrid style way to pack your bike that kind of combines the best of both worlds, both the modern frameless bike packing bags as well as a more traditional rack and pannier system. So let's talk a little bit about why you'd want to load up your bike this way. It's actually not just for aesthetics, it does offer some advantages in my opinion. The first of which is that it will force you to travel light, because generally you want to use smaller front panniers, which necessarily kind of minimizes the amount of stuff you can bring on your bike. So another reason why you would want to pack this way is actually because for ride feel and performance. I think if you have a bike that's kind of designed around this front loading bias, something like the Mazzi Special Randonneur or something like the Surly Pack Rat, it rides really well. I think in particular when you're standing and climbing, you don't have the rear end whipping back and forth because there's so much weight in the back. It almost feels like the bike is unloaded, although a little bit heavier granted, but in terms of that dynamics when you're standing and climbing, I think the bike rides better in this configuration. So for me personally, those are the two reasons why I like to ride with a front loading system. Again, it forces me to pack lighter, and two, I feel like it rides better overall. I'll give you guys a quick tour of what I have in the bags when I pack this way. So starting from the top, this is a Swift Industries Paloma bag. It's a great Randonneur style boxy handlebar bag, which you can mount on any bike even if you don't have a little rack in the front. And in here, I like to call this the office, so I carry things like my camera equipment, charging cables, batteries, watercolor kit, those kinds of items. So in this left pannier, I call this the bedroom because it contains all my sleeping gear, primarily my sleeping bag and my sleeping pad. That's all that's in here. It's all just kind of crammed into this pannier. There is more room to stuff things in here if I need, but generally that's what's going to live in this bag. So moving on to the other pannier, I actually have my tent in here, a tarp tent double rainbow. I squished it up into a compression sack, so that's on the bottom, and on top of that I just have some spare clothes. It's a spare shirt, underwear, another pair of bike shorts, etc. It's not packed to the gills, so there is room to put more in here if need be, another jacket or something. But pretty much just the tent and clothes and other small items. So moving to the middle of the bike, this is a Apidura small size half frame bag, and I've got a pump here, tools, and some snacks, and a water filter. And lastly, moving to the rear of the bike is this Ortlieb seat bag. There isn't a whole lot in here now, but it does have my stove and pot and plenty of room for food. So this is where I would keep all the snacks, all the food that has to be cooked, coffee making stuff, and that's about it. One thing that isn't pictured is the tent poles, which I would put in the tarp tent pouch and put it along the down tube. Forgot to bring that out for this little demo, so please forgive me. So this is actually my preferred method when I go bike touring these days. I generally don't like a pure bike packing style rackless bag system just because I tend to overpack. I have lots of hobbies and my gear isn't super light and super packable, so I do benefit from using panniers. Small panniers in the front. In terms of the rear bag, sometimes I'll swap this out with a Caradis style saddle bag. On this bike, this one fit better and had better tire clearance, so I went with the Ortlieb seat bag. So that's it for this video. If you guys have any other questions about front load packing for your bike tour, leave those in the comments below. How do you guys pack? What do you want me to cover in future videos? Also leave those in the comments below. And if you like this content, don't forget to support it. That's how you keep the lights on. Check out the PayPal links. It really keeps the site going. And thank you once again, Kim. And until next time, keep the supple side down.